Nancy Pelosi has actually given us the date for when she wants to pass this huge reconciliation package in the House. We have a leaked draft of the tax plan from the Democrats on how they're actually going to raise for the $2.9 trillion reconciliation package. We have Bernie Sanders and Joe Manchin who are going back and forth fighting on the cost of this reconciliation package. We've got Joe Manchin who said Chuck Schumer, the leader of the Senate, will not have my vote for the $3.5 trillion reconciliation package. And Bernie Sanders is calling Joe Manchin's actions not acceptable. We now have the Democrats and the White House who are fighting over raising taxes to pay for Biden's economic agenda. And lastly, we got today a new group who is pushing on Congress to add a forced stimulus check of $1,400 for our seniors on top of the $1,160 they will get from COLA. We will get into all those details concerning that on this channel. We don't go left or right, but straight down the middle. So we actually have a leaked document draft of what the Democrats are wanting to do, are looking to do to raise the $2.9 trillion in additional tax revenue to help pay for this massive reconciliation package. So this draft is being circulated right now through the Ways and Means Committee in the House of Representatives. So there's a lot they want to do, but we're stuck between a rock and a hard place. In Congress, we're about to hit the debt ceiling. The Democrats want to raise it, and the Republicans say we need to cut spending. So, in order to pay for all this and not raise the debt, the answer the Democrats have is to spend more and to raise taxes on the wealthiest of Americans and corporations. So if you're making over $400,000 as an individual, sorry, but you're going to be paying 39.6% federal tax rate. And if you're married, if you're a married couple filing jointly, it would be $450,000 or more, and you would be paying that same tax rate. The top capital gains rate would be increased from 20%, where it's at right now, to 25%. There's going to be additional taxes on tobacco and nicotine. So even if you have that gum that you're trying to quit smoking with, it's got nicotine, it's getting more taxes added to it. And there's a lot of taxes for what they are calling the ultra rich. But as you can see here, here is the actual draft that is being circulated. And at the very end, we can see that it actually ends with the words combined with dynamic growth estimate by White House of $600 billion. This fully offsets the $3.5 trillion package. So even with this, they're looking at essentially gathering the majority of the cost, but now they're running into another issue. And that issue has got a name, and this guy's name is Joe Manchin. This guy is making some of the boldest statements possible. And the thing is that there is so much fighting going on within the Democratic Party right now, it's ridiculous. Not Democrats versus Republicans, but Democrats versus Democrats. Bernie Sanders said there is a real danger congressional Democrats could fail to deliver on two major pieces of legislation furthering President Biden's domestic agenda if moderates like Senator Joe Manchin cannot agree on the price tag. Joe Manchin is not on board with voting on the reconciliation package. It's not going to happen. Manchin said he will not have my vote on the $3.5 trillion. And Chuck knows that. Chuck is Chuck Schumer. Adding that it should be more like 1.5 trillion. It's not going to be 3.5, I can assure you. This is probably one of the biggest blows to the Democratic Party to date. It's crazy how essentially we're supposed to be in a democracy, or more correctly said, a constitutional republic. But sometimes it all boils down to one person, Joe Manchin. Well, with these words, every single Democrat that wants this is throwing shots at Manchin big time. Manchin did add and say that the bill that the Democrats should be primarily focused on is the $1.2 trillion bipartisan infrastructure bill that passed in the Senate and is awaiting the House action. So this is where the gloves are coming off. And Bernie Sanders, who leans far left, probably about as far as you can go, came out and said, no, it's absolutely not acceptable to me. I don't think it's acceptable for the president to the American people with the overwhelming majority of the people in the Democratic caucus. So with all this being said, Nancy Pelosi is still the leader of the House, and she intends on getting this huge stimulus package passed through the House as fast as possible. But when it gets to the Senate, that's where things might change. But Pelosi told fellow Democrats in a visual conference call that she hopes to begin consideration of the $3.5 trillion social welfare spending package as soon as September 20th, the day lawmakers return from their summer recess. So we still have the infrastructure bill, the $1.2 trillion bipartisan package that they have said that they would vote on by September 27th. Now, there's a lot at stake with both huge trillion-dollar bills, but one thing is for sure. If the Democrats want to get something done, they have to do it now. With Manchin being in the center of all this, he may cave to the pressures of his fellow Democrats, and pretty much every Democrat that's voted has him backed up against a corner. But he may not, and if he doesn't, there is no reconciliation package. We've got Biden, who is fighting hard for his economic agenda. With everything that's been happening lately, his poll numbers have been slipping. But this is where he feels like he can make the most impact in Americans' lives is through these huge trillion-dollar stimulus packages. So both will essentially get passed in the House, but people are more concerned about what's going to happen when it gets back to the Senate. Will Manchin hold to his answer of not voting for it, or will they come to a compromise? There's a lot at stake, but I want to know what you think down in the comments section, and we can talk about it from there. We are expecting for our seniors next year to get one of the biggest raises to their cost of living adjustment in almost 40 years. Next year, they will see a cost of living adjustment of $1,160 or more added to their Social Security payouts. But there is a group now who is petitioning for a forced stimulus check, but not for everyone, only for our seniors. The Senior Citizens League, a nonpartisan senior group, is petitioning for seniors only to receive a forced stimulus check in the amount of $1,400. Most of our seniors are on a fixed income, and even some are living below the poverty line. And this is something that is already catching some eyes in Congress. They already have it to extend the child tax credit to help out our kids with the monthly stimulus checks for the next 4 years. But this is a way that they can do something to help out our seniors, to give them an extra boost to deal with all this inflation and to deal with them being on a fixed income. On top of this, there is a large support and text within the reconciliation package to add the additional benefits of the dental, the vision, and the hearing to the Medicare program, as well as lowering the eligibility age down to 60 from where it's at 65. All in all, there is a lot for our seniors coming, and maybe even more. Let me know your thoughts and what you think. Should more be done? And what should be done for our seniors in the comments section, and we can talk about it from there. But I have to say that with everything that's happening, we got a lot of debt. They found a way to raise $2.9 trillion in additional tax revenue. A lot of people are saying, well, why don't we just use that to pay down our debt? But with Biden's economic agenda, he wants to make a stamp in his presidency. He wants to leave a huge legacy in what he's done as a president. So this is something that could easily, put him in a good place if something really good happens from these huge trillion-dollar packages. But I want to know what you think down in the comments section, because for me, I want to take care of our Americans. I want to take care of our kids, our singles, and for our seniors. And whatever we can do to take care of them and make sure that we're providing opportunities, make sure that we're giving them all the necessary things they need to be able to take care of themselves, I'm game for. But please, don't forget to subscribe, like this video, and hit that notification bell to stay up to date on all stimulus and economic news that affects you and learn how to build some wealth.